So now as you sit comfortably, and today's topic is another little sequence. These sequences that we practice are such a godsend to me. You know the morning sequence, sun salutations, Baxter's little sequence. These are the ones that you can just sort of pull out of your bag. You know you want to do something, but you don't really know. You don't want to create a whole new recipe because you got 15 minutes and the day is calling. The Five Tibetan Rites is one of those sequences, and it's sometimes considered or called the elixir of youth, which I think is cute. The reason really is it works your entire endocrine system. And the endocrine system is really, it's what squirts and what doesn't squirt when you sleep, when you digest, when you have kids, when you don't have kids, all of that. So when you think of where these endocrine centers are located in our bodies, they match up beautifully with the chakra system. And so they knew a whole lot more thousands of years ago than we often give them credit for. So of course we have the root chakra, which is our reproductive organs, and the sacral chakra. But there's also our intestines secrete hormones to help break down and process for us to take the nutrients out of the food. We have the kidneys, the liver, pancreas, gallbladder, all secretes right here, solar plexus. Of course, we have the heart chakra. The heart secretes a hormone. We have the thymus, that's of high interest right now, our immune system. We also have the thyroid gland, and of course the pituitary, sometimes called the master gland, because that's really where the communication between nerves and secretions, where the physical body meets the electrical body, that communication has to happen. So yoga always is about bringing balance to all systems. So as we start, just seat it. Whatever is comfortable for you, whether that's cross-legged, and today I will sit in the Burmese, one foot in front of the other, but make it comfortable, making it comfortable. And breathing in and breathing out. Let the breath be free and deep so that the diaphragm is moving. And just that moving of the diaphragm as we breathe in and the diaphragm contracts, presses down, everything gets a little massage. And as we breathe out, the diaphragm moves up, the heart and the lungs are stimulated. So this movement is so important for the function of our organs. From here, of course, the thymus gland, take your right hand, and so the breastbone, the thymus gland sits right behind it, more to the top than the bottom. Just tap it, tapping it, stimulate it. Say, hello, how are you doing, thymus gland? As I wrote in my email, when we are children, this is just plump and succulent. And as we age, it sort of shrivels up and doesn't function there as well, producing our white blood cell, our T cell, which we need to find these invaders. Let's rub it and say, I love you, thymus gland. Keep producing my white blood cells, my T cells. Now from here, place both of your hands right at the upper chest so that the fingertips meet right about at the thymus gland. This is adhyama, pranayama. Breathing in and breathing out to about a 5 or 6 count. And we'll do it 6 times. Breathing in and out. So it may be a slightly deeper breath than you normally take. Breathing in, breathing out. Following the rhythm of your body. When we are nervous or anxious, stressed, our breath becomes shallow. So allow it now to expand a little bit more. And then from this position, move your hands down to your ribs. I think of these as my gills. So when we breathe in, we want the ribs to expand. And as we breathe out, they contract back together. So inhaling, feel the ribs expanding into your palms. And exhale, contracting. Again, let the breath be deep, maybe 5 or 6 count in and out. So now we're stretching the diaphragm sideways. Breathing into the palms of the hands. So a nice little pranayama snack you can do to strengthen the breath, strengthen the lungs, and feel better, stronger. From here, take your palms facing up and take them to your upper back. Upper back. So now we are at the top, the back of the lungs. So between the shoulder blades is stretch your elbows upward. And same thing. Breathing deeply in and out 6 times. Breath is our prana, our life force, and without, well, there is no prana, there is no life. Our Atman, which according to the yoga philosophy resides behind the sternum, at the place of the thymus, must go find another host. So I like to keep my Atman here for a bit longer. And then from here, let's stretch the arms up, reaching up, interlace the fingers. And we take the hands down. Let's come on to all fours. So we're going to do a few little warm-ups before we get all jiggy with the 5 Tibetans. And from tabletop, cat and cow, rounding as you exhale and inhale, arch. Rounding, exhale, inhale, arch. 2 more times. And then from neutral, stretch the right leg back, tuck the toes under, and give yourself a little calf stretch. Lengthening back. Now pull the belly in and up. Press the floor away with the hands, and maybe your left knee floats up. Step the left leg back and bring the right knee down. Let's stretch the left calf, pressing back through the heel. Press the hands down, forward, feel the belly engage, belly button pulling up, and again, maybe the right knee floats up. And we step back, plank to downward facing dog. Downward facing dog. And take your dog for a little walk, swing it around a little bit. Maybe pedaling it out, whatever feels good right now. Let the head hang, completely suspended. And then I invite you to lift high on the toes, bend the knees deeply, and push back. Hovering, puppy pose. And from here, straighten the legs. Straightening the knees. Now you can always practice puppy instead of downward facing dog. Some days The shoulders appreciate that. Let's look forward as we inhale and exhale. Walk or step the feet to the hands. Inhale, looking up, take the hands to the hips, and inhale all the way. And here we are. Let me get rid of this because I know I'm going to get hot. So I included the one outline for the poses in the email. If you Google Tibetan rites, you're going to get about 800,000 Google responses. So that will keep you busy over the holidays. The principle is the same, at least for the ones that I looked at, the way I've been taught. The first one is spinning, which is not everybody's favorite because of vertigo, though it's great to help with vertigo. But the modification that I like to use is from martial art, and was taught to me as the alternative. So step your feet wider than the hips, take the arms out to the side, and then swing the arms to the right, and let your hands slap your chest and back. Be sure to lift the heel that you're turning away from, so you just go back and forth. And in this way, you are stimulating both your thymus gland, but also your kidneys. So, not that anybody's really out and about a lot these days, but great one to just do when you're waiting around. All right, let's that one slow down. And then for the traditional one, so here you may want to repeat what we just did. The classical one is spinning. You always spin clockwise, though I did find one resource that says counterclockwise, which I have never heard. So I don't know, but clockwise, and that they say is for the chakras, but it's also great for the crystals in the ear. With the feet close together, arms out to the side. And you can choose the speed that's right for you, and you can spin as long as you feel like it. So spinning as fast or as slow. If you become dizzy, I advise you to stop and maybe do a little hop. That will help everything settle in. Now, some of them say, and I like this, is they take the power stance. Feet hip width apart, slightly wider, hands on the hips. And what's really funny about this stance is it has been proven to increase testosterone, simply standing like this. So testosterone is one of our endocrine squirters that gives us that sense of strength, groundedness, I know. So sometimes referred to as power stance. So our next pose is the leg lift. So coming onto your back. Now just watch and let me demonstrate both of them, because once you're down, you won't be able to see me. So the modification is so my blocks are well out of the way, with knees bent if there is low back thingies. As you inhale, draw the chin in, knees in. So gentler, or the full on variation, inhaling, lifting legs and chin. I recommend 3 to 6 repetitions. So your turn. Bent knees or straight legs. The number that you're doing now is going to be the number that you repeat for the remainder 3. Inhaling, lifting legs and chin. And after the repetitions, now pause for 5 breaths. Pausing for 5 breaths. As you release and relax. Breathing in and breathing out. So the idea is that you continue to increase your repetitions until you get to 21 repetitions. And that those 21 repetitions are easy for you to do. So take your time building up to it. Don't rush. After 21 repetitions of each, there is no more benefit to be gained. So there's no point in doing it any further than that. The next repetition is camel pose. So once you've taken your 5 breaths, come into a kneeling position. So I know that you are ready to rock and roll. We start kneeling, and as always, if your knees are chatty, you give yourself a little love. No reason to suffer unnecessarily. Tuck the toes under in this variation as best as it's available. Thyroid, thymus, and of course, kidneys, liver. Taking the hands to the back of your thighs, below the tush, and bow the chin to the chest. And then inhale, lifting, and exhaling, coming back. Inhaling and exhaling. So the same number of repetitions that you did with the leg lift. How far back you go, you decide. Let it be comfortable. So here we are working specifically with the thyroid and the parathyroid. Of course, the thyroid, it's like the motherboard of a whole host of things. As you would know, if you have suffered from hypo or hyperthyroidism, Graves' disease. So stimulating this gland, along with the parathyroid, this brings wellness throughout. Again, after the 5th, or after how many you're taking, you're going to come to a seated position, and we'll pause here for our 5 breaths. I just think it's a little easier to sit and breathe rather than kneel and breathe. One of the Google also said you could take the power stance in between each, but I find that kind of choppy. So I just do sort of an inner power stance between each. So letting the body get time to receive the benefit of the poses is important, and not just darting on to the next thing, because that eventually will lead to depletion rather than sustenance. Take one more breath, which then gets us to the reverse tabletop. So in this one here, we're going to do the modification first, which is bridge pose. So let's all just come down. You know bridge, hands down alongside. And then inhale, lift the chest, lift the hips, and exhale down. And go ahead and do your number. This is the pose if you have shoulders or wrist thingies, it's going to be a better choice for your body, as neither will be strained, but you will still get the benefit of engaging the back body. And after you complete your number, pause again, pause, take 5 breaths, and then you'll sit back up. See how easy this is? It's a nice one to have in the back pocket. So the modification again, bridge pose, or Well, let me show you the full on, and then you'll know which one to choose. So the full on, of course, is where the hands are by the hips and heels, legs extended out. And as you inhale, pull the knees forward and exhale, back, tuck the chin. So we continue to use the same Jalandhara Bandha. Now you can take the hands back and bend the knees. This is going to be a little easier, but it's going to be a little hard to do the chin tuck because the shoulders are going to want to come forward. So I invite you to choose the one that you would like. The one that's right for you is the one that's right for you. So don't try to make it harder than it has to be. Repeating your number. Yep, I can see you, I'm watching. So again, chin tuck. As you come up, opening. As you go back. And again, pause for 5 breaths. Take a little mini Shavasana, reconnecting to your breath, to your body after each one. What we don't do is as important as what we do. And then from here, the last one is the up dog, down dog. And modifications. The full on event, the only thing to remember here is that the breath is switched. So you start toes tucked under in the up dog. Then you inhale to down dog. Exhale to up dog. Now here, you can also do the puppy. Inhale, exhale. Or repeat cat and cow from where we started earlier. So I invite you to choose the one that appeals to you the most and do your repetitions. Whether cat and cow, up dog, down dog. Remember, switch the breath, starting in up dog. Inhale to downward facing dog. Exhale forward. I have no idea why the breath is switched, but they are all, every source that I saw says the same. So here I must trust in the sources. This sequence, interestingly enough, wasn't made available to the West until 1985. But it supposedly has been practiced by Tibetan monks for thousands of years. So a lot of the information we have is, of course, anecdotal. From here, I invite you to simply take wide-kneed child's pose. And with your blankets, taking it up a little higher. So I'm going to stack my blankets. You can also use blocks underneath to get it higher yet. And we will pause. Now, if child's pose is uncomfortable for knees, there's always happy baby pose. Laura, turn your blankets the other way, the long way. Yes. So that your body can simply rest down onto the support. And again, let the breath be deep and full. Think of how we started. So feel that memory of your hands on your body and expand your breath in this manner as you breathe in and out. And simply take your hands under your shoulders. And sitting up. So you'll take your blanket now in the hot dog fold. So the skinny fold. And place them width wide on your mat. It's going to be for the thighs as we prepare for Cobra pose. So coming onto your forearms first, a very high Sphinx pose. So blankets are right under my thighs, the very top of my thigh bones. Let the tops of the feet come to rest on the mat and draw the tailbone towards the heels, tailbone towards the heels. And then without face planting, release your chest and forehead and take your hands under the shoulders. Spread the fingers wide. Let's roll the shoulders up and down the back. And then inhale, lift the heart, lift the heart. So it gives us a little bit higher cobra. Now stretch from belly button up to the heart. Hold the shoulder blades together and down the back, down the back. And then slowly releasing down. We should do that again. Rolling the shoulders up. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and down. And we lift up again. Lifting up again. Draw the shoulders back. Opening the front groins, our main portals of lymph. Fluids, the groins, the armpits. We're helping those flush out. Hug the elbows in, hug the elbows in. And again, slowly release down. Releasing all the way down. Pause. And we're going to do it one more time. So let me have a look. See? Inhaling, roll the shoulders up and down the back, lifting up. Tailbone draws towards the heels, abdomen in and up. So broadening, give your thymus gland, your heart, and your lungs as much space as you can. For strength, vitality, ojas, which means juiciness. And now from here, exhale back to downward facing dog. Go back to downward facing dog. So we switched from the 5 Tibetans that ended with the up dog, down dog. And now we are in the yoga for the immune system, therapeutic sequence. Pull the hips back. Pull the hips back. Let the head hang. So this helps drain. So any inversion is so beneficial for the immune system. Looking up as you inhale. Walk the feet either to the hands or hands back to the feet. It's with the blanket, it may be easy to go back. Look up as you inhale, flatten the back, take the hands to the hips and stand up all the way again. Back into standing. Tadasana, mountain pose. And face a long way on your mat for wide-legged downward facing dog. Take the hands to the hips And step the feet wide apart. Wide, wide, wide. Wider than you may think. Lift and spread the toes. So the four corners of the feet, big toe mount, little toe mount, inner and outer heel, is evenly planted. Stretch the toes forward, and then let's lift the heart. Keep a little bend in the knees. Keep a little bend in the knees. Pull the elbows back. Hold the elbows back. And then exhale, hinge forward. Hinge forward. Take the hands to the floor or your blocks. And then maybe straightening the knees, but be a good steward of hamstrings. Just keep the four corners down. Let your knees be bent. Keep your back flat as you now walk the hands forward. Wide knee, wide leg, downward facing dog. Pull the hips back. Back, 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 back. Again, you're tractioning the spine. You're creating space for all these organs so that they function better. Depression and stagnation are enemy number 1 and 2 for wellness. Now let's walk the hands under the shoulders. And again, either bend the knees or use blocks so that the spine is flat. Spine is flat. A sense of the sternum lengthening away from the belly button. Slide your right hand center and take the left hand to the hip. Left hand goes to the hip. Lengthen through the crown of the head, and as you exhale, twisting to the left, twisting to the left. Now let your right knee bend a little bit. Let your right knee bend a little bit. So we get a little bit more twist. Now hold on to the twist as you drive that right heel back. Drive the right heel back. Can you squeeze that a little bit more? And let's bend the knee again. Come out of the twist a little bit. And then exhale, pull back into the twist. One more time, bend, release the twist slightly. And now that's our keeper. Lengthen, press back through the right heel. Right leg is straight. Breathe. And release. Let's place the left hand where the right is. Take the right hand to the hip. Long spine. Keep the hips back over the heels as best as you can. Not leaning forward. Knees just bend. That's perfectly fine. Lengthen into the crown of the head and exhale. Twisting now to the right. Let your left knee bend. I'll get you a little deeper into the twist. And then exhale, drive the left heel down. Let's do it again. Move back and forth. Back and forth, bending the knee. Stuart, you found something there. Caught in the catch in the outer hip. So allow yourself to back off, back off. Finding a place that's comfortable for the twist as we hold the pose, hold the pose, hold the pose. Twist, twist, twist. Pressing your left hand down as if you're trying to pull yourself a little deeper. And we come back to neutral. Walk the hands forward once more. Wide-legged, downward facing dog. Pull the hips back as you stretch the arms forward. Lift the hips, lift the hips. One more breath. And now walk the hands back under the shoulders. And then heel toe, take the hands to the hips and inhale all the way up. We come all the way in. Step the feet together, back in mountain pose. So the Majja Sutra Madhya means midline. Sutra means thread or seam. Do you feel maybe a little bit wider across the midline, where all of these organs are housed, the endocrine system? And we're going to create a little bit more length with couch pose. That's a nice name, isn't it? So classically, you will use your blocks and you'll set them up one in front of the other. This is for my spine between the shoulder blades and for my head. So I will also say there are many, many ways of modifying this. Blankets, because this may be too intense. So let me first show you how to come into the pose. Paryangasana, again, couch pose, starting with the knees bent and then lowering your spine onto the blocks at the height that's right for you, right between the shoulder blade, and then take the head back onto the block. So if you come here and there's no block, the blocks are adjustable. Just flip it up to a higher level. Here, we're going to have a little rest stop first. Next stop, straightening the legs. And then the last part, take the arms up and extend the arms overhead. And we'll stay here for about 5 or 6 breaths. To come out of the pose, first the arms comes up, knees bend. Now you're going to hold the hands under the head as you roll off to the side. Oh, look at you guys, you're going in. So first, arms out to the side, knees are bent, knees are bent. Let your body get comfortable here. Stuart, are your hips down? Are your hips, are you a hovercraft? So flip the blocks down lower if they are too high. So remember, one block between the shoulder blades, or a blanket. You can also put a blanket on top of the blocks. Make sure you have enough support under the head where you can talk normally or sing so that you haven't collapsed the throat, the trachea. Then second part, wait. is with the arms out to the side. So that gets the pec majors. The pec majors are now the muscles from the upper arm bone to the sternum are getting a little length here. Next part is to straightening the knees. Is that available? Legs lengthen. So now the psoas is getting a little bit more length. And then, if this is comfortable, lift the arms up, palms facing each other, elbows stay straight. Take the arms straight back. Keep the arms powerful and active, elbows straight. If there is any discomfort at all, go to the previous variation. More pain is just that, more pain. But what is causing when the body, what's happening when the body is in pain is we begin to contract. And we contract, we are despacing, and we are squeezing what needs space. So give yourself space, give yourself space. Breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. If your arms become tingly or numb, again, return to the arm out to the side. That may be indication of some compression in the neck. Do one more breath. And then lift the arms back up. Take one hand behind the head. So which side you want to roll to is going to be your choice. Bend up the knees. And then very kindly take the other, your lifted arm, take that to the floor to support you rolling onto that side. So slowly come off this little sit up and sit up. It's a little intense, I know. It's such a good one. Almost all therapeutic sequences has this one in it because as a culture, we spend too much time here. Opening everything up, the chakras, the endocrine system is happy. The next one is a little bit more palatable. One block, bridge pose, also restorative. So the block, remember, comes in 3 convenient heights. Choose the height. So I'm going to go on the middle height right now. Choose that height that's best for you. And the block is right under the sacrum. Right under the sacrum. So it's not up in the low back. It's not down on the tailbone either. So it's, to be delicate, right above the crack-ish. So let the weight of your pelvis come to rest comfortably. And settling in to that long and deep breath. Chest expands. On the in-breath. The pose alone generates the Jalandhara Bandha, the chin moving towards the chest. So we're getting the thyroid and the thymus effect. It's an inversion. The head is below the heart. So we're getting the benefits of the inversions. Breathing. Let it be easy. If it's available, I invite you to include the Ujjayi breath, that whispering breath of that slight contraction of the vocal cords, the glottis. And now to release from this pose, as you inhale, press the feet down and squeeze the glutes, squeeze the buns, relax. Do that 5 more times. Exhale, press the feet down, contract the glutes. That helps get the sacrum re-engaged and secure so that we don't either have a sacral instability or worse, get the entire back seam fired up and unhappy. After the 6th time, Simply lift up just high enough. You can slide the block down and then come all the way down. Let your back body relax into the floor. Breathing. Again, several breaths. Let your body receive the effects of the pose. Restorative bridge is a powerful practice. The softer the practice, the deeper we go. Rolling over onto your side and pushing up. Now, the Pratikarini, I often end classes with this one. But today, I invite you to, if you have a wall available, to move your mat to the wall. Take your blankets with you, because that transfers us into, again, a restorative practice and allowing us to hold it longer. This pose is sometimes referred to not as an asana, but as a mudra, a gesture, and by many considered to be one of the most powerful practices that we have. I know, for something that simple, right? You're going to take 2 blankets or bath towels, and if you don't have any, no worries, you're still going to get the benefits. You're going to fold the blankets into the hamburger fold. So the wider fold, not the long and skinny one that we just used. And you're going to stack the blankets with the rounded edges away from the wall. If you have a strap available, look at me, I have to go grab mine with a strap. Strapping the thighs, again, removes some of the effort, allows the body to receive, get more space, and by that, more benefit. So we're going to need a loop that's for my thighs, but I'm not going to put it on until I am actually up in the pose. So my blankets are 1.5-inch away from the wall. I want a little space. And what I want to be supported is my lumbar spine and sacrum, so that my belly is flat. For tighter hamstrings, you're going to move your blankets out even further. So this is not about getting the tush on the wall. It's more about getting the flat belly. So allow me to demonstrate the easiest way to come into it. Let me also show you what you don't want in the pose. Look at Heidi, she's like, is it time to walk? So sitting at the edge, scoot your tush against the wall, do the drop and roll, and then adjust. There is no elegant way to get into this pose or gracious way. So the belly is flat. Very similar feeling to when we were in bridge pose. If I am hanging, if the blankets is just supporting my pelvis, I'm in a slant. Now I'm compressing my abdominal muscles and my organs. So I don't care about how close you are to the wall. What I care about is that you can rest here very comfortably. And then take your strap. Strap the thighs together, mid-thigh. So this is not a tourniquet, but this will take all effort out of keeping the legs up. And give yourself the luxury of wiggle about a little bit. Wiggle about so that you are really comfortable. Sometimes we may be like, say, yeah, I'm not going to be here that long, so screw it. I'm just going to muddle through. But if that becomes the approach of most anything, of muddling through, we end up living a life of So give yourself the gift, treating yourself as the most important guest. And once that you've deemed that you are wickedly comfortable, let all effort cease. Resting into the breath. And let the shape and orientation of the pose do the work for you. The benefits of the restorative practice. The benefit now is, of course, that we have reversed gravity. So the heart doesn't have to work as hard. We get more oxygen-rich blood to the brain. The pre-immunere pose to practice if you suffer from insomnia, high anxiety and stress. Don't practice it right after you eat turkey or any other meal for that matter, because again, it is an inversion, and inversions best practiced on an empty stomach for what I hope is obvious reasons. If your feet or legs are again becoming tingly or numb, then simply bend the knees so you can slide the strap off, and then you can slide the feet down so that you are in bound angle pose. And that typically alleviates that discomfort. Now, I invite you to bend your knees so you can slide the strap off. And then you'll scoot back just enough to get the hips down off your blanket support. Scoot, 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 scoot. And once the hips are down, and you may come back further yet, cross your ankles for cobbler's pose. Bend the knees and let your feet rest on the blankets that you left there, and let the knees simply relax out to the side. Now you may want to grab a pillow or another blanket to support the head if the chin is pulling away from the chest so that the back of the neck is not being compressed. And if Supta, Sukhasana, Supta, on your back, supine, Sukha, comfortable pose, is not comfortable, you do have permission to switch into a posture that is comfortable. Here I invite you to place one hand on your belly and one hand on your heart center. The metta meditation, loving kindness meditation, is taught to be granted to oneself first, to fill our own well, for us to share of our wellness. Silently repeat, may I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be happy. May I be well. May I be safe. May I be peaceful and at ease. I invite you to bring somebody to mind that you love dearly. Somebody you know loves you back unconditionally. Extend these graces towards that person or persons. It doesn't have to be singular. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. And may you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. And may you be peaceful and at ease. Love received and given. And now bring somebody to your mind that is suffering, that is experiencing a tough time for whatever reason, without judgment. It may be somebody you know really well, or it may be somebody or a group of people. It doesn't have to be singular, that you want to extend your well wishes to. And for this, bring both hands on your heart center. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. And may you be peaceful and at ease. May you be happy. May you be well. May you be safe. And may you be peaceful and at ease. Allow your hands simply to relax to wherever it is comfortable. If your legs are uncomfortable, you can scoot all the way back for the next few minutes for the final Shavasana rest. You may wish to place a blanket on top of your lower abdomen or legs. Let all effort cease. Let the mind simply resting on the rhythm of your breath. Breathing in, I'm aware of my body. Breathing out, I relax my body. And like the loving parent, gently awakening the child, just begin to deepen the breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. Bend up the knees, rock the knees from side to side. Eventually roll all the way over onto your right side or left if that feels better. And always just support your head in a way that it's not hanging, but it is, the neck is tended to. A little interlude between the practice and the conclusion of our practice. Using your arms and hands to press up into a comfortable seated posture. Bringing the palms together in a Jali Mudra. We'll close with the chant for peace. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Peace in our lives, in the world, and in our heart. Let's take a deep breath then. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti Om. Exhale and bow your head towards your heart. To the seat of grace, gratitude, let your experiences begin here. We'll open the eyes and draw the gaze up. May you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. Namaste.